I wanted to come and first of all congratulate you on your remarkable electoral victory at the weekend. The team were just saying how it exceeded even your own expectations. So huge congratulations. We had observers out around the country in 15 of the regions and got 409 polling station reports, and it was great to see this election proceed so peacefully. And the reports that we had in from our observers really noted how clear the process was throughout. And it was good also to see, of course, Dr. Bawumia conceding and the conciliatory tone of your response to his concession as well. Also your calls for calm and for the correct processes to be followed during the collation afterwards. So a good election, a really strong basis for you moving forward. And we, as the representatives of British government here in Ghana, want to state our commitment to working with you, to supporting you and your government through your tenure. You know, I know, that the relationship between UK and Ghana is a really important one. It's one that the British government prizes highly. British people prize highly when you think about the people connections between our countries. And we look forward to taking it from strength to strength under your leadership. We worked closely together with some of your team, bringing in some of the expertise from our High Commission team through the manifesto process. And we want to offer that support as you go through the transition and through your first days in government as well. We've of course seen your 120-day plan. It highlights a number of areas where your interests and our interests coincide, thinking about health, education, but perhaps particularly economic growth, job creation. We want to offer up our expertise to assist however that might be useful to you. We're interested also in what you have said before the election and since around governance, around getting on top of corruption. These are areas also that matter a huge amount to the UK. They're areas where we're learning across the world how to do better. So again, we're keen to talk with you. We've benefited in the past from senior level dialogues, ministerial level dialogues that happen regularly through the year, covering economics and the commercial relationship, trade and investment, as well as security and defence, where our areas of collaboration are very broad. So we're keen to continue to work with you in those areas particularly and make the most of those senior level dialogues. But mostly for now, we want to say a huge congratulations, and we want to offer our support to you and to your incoming government as you take on this huge responsibility, giving us such a significant majority of the vote over the weekend. Congratulations, Excellency, and to all of your team. Her Excellency, Prof. Jane as well.
Thank you. It was assumed, the congratulations were assumed because you had an open door. We've met several times in the run-up to the election, long before the election, and in the run-up to the election. And so we've always had an open channel of communication. And so, I mean, even if I didn't hear from you, I'd assume your congratulations.
I'm glad. I hope you also had the message from the Foreign Secretary and the Minister for Africa.
Yes, we did. Yes, thank you. And so, I knew Ghana will get it right, and that we'll be able to sail through this election, despite the anxiety that existed before the election. We've always managed in the last minute to pull the chestnuts out of the fire, and I think we did that again. There were a few casualties though, and I do think that it's something we must look into to make sure that it does not become a mark of our elections that people lose their lives. And so I believe that the current administration will begin some investigation to find out what happened, and we will continue that investigation from wherever they leave off. The transition teams have been set up, and they've started to work. So I hope that the transition will go expeditiously and that it will be a smooth process so that we have a smooth handover from one government to the other. And so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, we'll be happy to begin some multilateral and bilateral discussions on the economic cooperation between us and our international partners. And UK is particularly a historic partner in terms of our joint history and all. And so we'll be happy to look at what the cooperation is. Of course, our priorities are restoring economic stability. That's absolutely the priority. And the second is restoring economic growth and creating more job opportunities for young people. But we do have some emergencies we need to deal with, and that is the energy sector. It's the Achilles heel of the whole economic recovery effort. If we do not do something about the energy sector, it could crash everything that we're doing. So as quickly as possible, we want to look at whatever assistance we can get in looking at the whole energy value chain and making sure we have a more sustainable energy sector going forward. And so whatever our partners can do to be of assistance, both in terms of technical cooperation and also in terms of, resource mobilization, I think it's something we'd like to look at. Aside from that, I think so far so good. The cooperation we're expecting is what is ongoing. There are few signals that have been raised in respect of some contracts that some parastatals are trying to sign off at the last minute. That will commit government, the new government, even before it has come into office. And so it's something that we've raised a signal about. And it's my hope that the Joint Transitional Team would take a look at it and deal with it. There are also reports of last-minute mass recruitments into all the agencies, which will be a liability on the new government. And so that's something we've asked them to take up at the Transitional Team meeting and see how we can deal with those issues. But otherwise, I think we want to thank the UK for all the support and cooperation before, during, and after the election. We're still going to work by consensus because we need everybody on board to be able to move this nation forward. And so even though we have such a huge majority, we're still going to make sure that we carry along the minority and we achieve things by consensus rather than railroading things through. And so I want to thank you once again and your team for this visit.